Hey, how's it going out there, guys? We made it just by the skin of our teeth. A lot of technical difficulties before today's show, but yeah. What's up, Mitchell? Your butt in here, man. Yeah, you got that right. It's going good. It's going to be real good. We got a real fire burner for you today. Again, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. Let's go ahead and pop into Discord and see if there's any other messes that we can get ourselves into. We have the beautiful Betty Van Velsen. Betty!
Yay, I'm back.
Yeah, you're loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I wasn't even shouting.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of problems in the female gender with that little issue.
What?
Adam, what did you say?
Sorry, good evening, technical support. Can I help you?
Yeah, the technical support. You got that right. So you guys are a little smoking. I got to adjust all you. So go, get a few radio checks. We got Flat Arthur's in here today. Can you believe that?
Huh, let's unmute him.
I'm gonna get some grief off me.
Flat Arthur radio check. Let's do some back office radio checks. It'll impress Nathan. Way to go, Flat Arthur. Way to come in and not say anything. Neil, radio check.
Loud and clear. How's everything going on your end?
Outstanding. It's looking much better as we speak. Sasha, radio check.
Eating dinner, everything okay.
Eating dinner. What you got for dinner?
I have some rice with chicken and what's this, Natasha?
Rice and chicken. I thought you were going to say rats. Okay, Sasha.
Aubergine also.
10th man, welcome 10th radio check.
Check 1 2, check 1 2.
Perfect. Outstanding. Adam Meekin, radio check.
Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm coming through loud and clear.
You are, sir. I think we're all ready to go. How about that? Okay, that's it. That's all we got.
Okay. So what's next?
That was quick.
I'm going to relax for a couple seconds because I was just going crazy for the past 8 minutes. I'm just going to relax. You take over.
Who?
Ready?
Me? Why?
Got the con.
For how long?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
I've got about 6 minutes fill time in me, Betty, whenever you want, but I can't fill for that long.
Well, please, Adam, relieve me of this duty.
If I could have the floor for a minute.
Go ahead, sir. Yep.
Is my wife's 50th birthday.
Wow.
Yes, I am a toy boy. So, first of all, I want to wish her a really happy birthday and to remind her how much I love her. I love you, Marie, and happy birthday, darling.
That's so sweet.
Second to that, normally we talk about food, don't we? She won't be cooking tomorrow because it's a birthday. I let her off on those days.
So it will be fish and chips then, huh?
A real gentleman and a scholar, isn't he? How's that?
He's gonna have fish and chips because that we can get on the marketplace.
So he's going to let her off for one day. How you like, is he a sweetheart now, Betty?
No.
Yeah. Go ahead, Adam. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. You have the floor.
You're all right. Normally we talk about food. I only had a prawn cocktail this evening, but next time we're back, I will discuss the menu because I'm going to take her and because it's a birthday and it's a big birthday. We're going to Front Sat Baines, which is a 2 Michelin star restaurant. So we're off for I think it's 10 courses, John. And I won't go into them in too much detail here just now, but there's I think dish 1, 2, yeah, the second dish, which is scallops with seaweed and Bernouzet. And this is the question. Well, this is the question I've got to ask on this dish. Do I pay an additional £35 a head supplement to have the caviar put on it? It's an option. Now, that shows you what I'm going to be having next week. So, but I know you like caviar, so I assume you'd go yes. After your millionaires weekend. Yeah, so hopefully next week when I come back, I'll continue the tradition of describing this food. I'm going to take some pictures because this is going to cost me a fortune. I'm going to be skint at the end.
You got, okay, before Betty gets in on, because she wants to know how you tried to dress up that seaweed.
It sounds like he sort of like say takes a bowl, puts it in the sea, and just eats what's on there.
He just said something French to try to dress the pig up. I know what he did, but I want to get back. We'll get back to that in a second. What is the 10 course? That's gluttony. 10 courses for what? Like for 3 weeks?
They're smaller dishes. It's called a tasting menu, so it's to go through things.
Oh,
so
okay.
The first bit's called the 5 tasters, and it'll have sweet, salt, sour, bitter, umami. They have all sorts. The last time I went there a number of years ago, right? And they had this thing, and it was probably no bigger than a dice, a craps dice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, what it was made of was tiny little wafer, you know, like an ice cream wafer sandwich. But inside, it was like horseradish ice cream. And
what?
So you get, I know, mate, it's amazing. I'll give you the menu. So that there's the scallops with seaweed and Bernouzet, yeah, with the optional caviar. Then we go to From the Embers, it's called Jersey Royal and smoked eel, very Cockney, followed by veal sweetbreads with horseradish and sauce robert. Oh God, how do you say this? Chawan mushy, 16-month parmesan and cauliflowers with additional truffle supplement. A plate of lamb, monkfish tikka, which I assume is Indian spiced. The crossover, who knows what that is, and then we go into the puddings. But I'll take pictures of these, mate. But this is, yeah, I'm quite excited about this, as you can tell.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Does the caviar come with a labeling from the Sturgeon General?
Leave the catering to the Italians anyway. That does not sound good at all. Any of that.
Yeah, he's right, man. It sounded terrible, Adam.
I will take this is 2 Michelin stars. This is crippling my bank account. This is £155 a head. What's that? $200 odd a head. So,
well, why?
well, you'll find out next week when I've took some pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, pictures of a little cube on a huge plate, and they call it hot cuisine.
Yeah. Betty started snickering when you said it was the size of a die, like a.
Oh,
see,
mate,
I could hear her snicker.
Honestly, it was, and I had it in 2 bites, and it was so good. It was
2
just-
bites.
That's why you have a 10 course
Yeah.
meal. Then afterwards, you have to go to McDonald's to get to some.
You got
fill.
two bites. How wide can you open your mouth? Like 3 angstroms.
I was being very, very refined and delicate.
Adam, was the food good?
Say,
I see.
Adam, do you have to get into a good suit when you have to go to that restaurant?
Yes, yeah, I'll be clean pants and socks.
But you have to watch out. You can't use formological fallacies when you put that suit on. Yeah, or you can't use informal logical fallacies. Only formal logical fallacies
Only
with a shirt and tie, Adam.
Are you going to wear a
Do my
bowler hat,
best.
Adam?
Hmm?
Are you going to wear a bowler hat and have some umbrella like that guy with?
I'm not a
with
Kingsman.
What's the guy's name with Emma Peel when back in the day, that series?
Oh, jeez, an Avenger.
Avengers. Yes, that was great. Yeah, that man looked team.
No. I had a top hat and a cane for my wedding, but that was more to look like a dandy. A bit like John Pertwee when he was Doctor Who.
Ah.
But anyway, there you go. So yeah, happy birthday, Marie, tomorrow, and yeah, like I said, I'll look forward to bringing you some pictures of this next week.
We definitely need some pictures for the next live stream. I need pics. Okay.
Yeah, not only from the food, but you in a suit and tie.
Yes.
Okay, sold. Fair enough. I don't know about a tie.
Oh, why not?
I don't know about a tie.
Bow tie.
A bow tie?
No, it's not. No.
Why not?
No,
If it's once in a year event, right?
Trousers, yeah, trousers and a jacket's once a year. That's enough. My ties have got paisley patterns on them. That was the last time I wore a tie.
Well, we want to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, so there you go, Crosso, right? I ain't got anything better to do than pull people into a show when I'm running the show. So just keep messaging me, during the show. I ain't got nothing else to do, right? I'm totally bored. Did you catch the facetiousness in the town? Let's unmute him.
No.
Go ahead, Cross.
I would reply, but
Yeah, just go on mute. Go on mute. I'm gonna have to put you. There you go. All right, what else we got? Let me get organized here, and then we'll be off and running. So that'll be another 30 minutes. Take the con for 30 minutes, Betty.
30 minutes again?
It wasn't 30 minutes the first time.
Yes, it was.
It was not.
You said that I had to do 30 minutes. Yes.
We ain't been recording. We only been recording for 14.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I didn't want to take 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know you didn't want to.
Adam took over, and now you're up.
I've got another minute, Betty, in me. And it is to be critical of you.
Oh, go on.
Normally, I thought you might let me. Normally, I love your thumbs. I've got to take offence at calling Jessica Rabbit a Horizon.
Well, it's a good-looking Horizon, isn't it? I mean, everybody recognize that.
She's never been employed in the Horizon business. She's married to Roger, and he's very faithful.
Well, I kind of like her too, but yeah, she was kind of appalled to be called a Horizon.
Yeah, nice stick save.
Right.
Well, I thought it was appropriate. I thought Betty made a good taste decision on it. I think it tells the story. We're going to see here in a couple minutes why she did that. Now, I went over it last week, but we'll go over it again. Make sure everyone gets the visual. If you know what I mean.
Adam already got that visual. Yeah, I think that she speaks to a lot of men, right? Men want to have those curves, not the curve of the earth.
No, they're the curves you like, aren't they?
Yes.
Mae West, is it?
Yes.
Hourglass figure.
So, for a surprise today, now we put Bob the dodo bird on here because of his. We were searching for his wHORizon, the HOR. That's why we put it on here, but that's not the main gist. I mean, we're going to talk about Bob a little bit because he's a numpty forever. Put it to you this way, Dunning-Kruger is over in the corner laughing. That's how bad this is. Now, we're going to touch on Bob. We're going to do a little bit of Larry Scott, the fantasy geodesist, we're going to take a look at his diagram. It's similar to Bob's diagram. Take a look at a couple Bob's diagrams, and we're going to compare it to an expert in the field of celestial navigation. Betty, your mic's backfiring.
All right.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. The main point of this is to discuss what the expert, ex-naval officer, former naval officer, has to say. We're going to go through his presentation here in a couple minutes. Now, I'm going to arbitrarily stop this thing, his video, because I don't feel like getting copyright striked. So just be patient with me. When I stop the video, some will be pertinent stops. The others, I'll just stop it just to stop it, right? Because I have a feeling after I'm done with this Squid, he's going to try to copyright strike me. But we're going to listen to his presentation, and we're going to see how that lines up with more or less of what 10th has been presenting for the past, let's say, I don't know, 10th, has it been 6 to 8 weeks now? Somewhere around there, or am I highballing?
It's been a little longer than that.
Yeah. So what has happened here is 10th has took the ball about 18 to 20 months ago and ran with this sextant and gnawed off the meat, or all the meat off the bone. So he came out here prepared and then just took the ball tarts down quick, because celestial navigation using the sextant, it's over, ladies and gentlemen. If the Black Swan, it was over with the Black Swan. However, right now, it is so concise and to the point that there is no way out. And we're going to show you some of that today. Now, we're going to take some liberties with our guests. Because it as it turns out, it seems that a percentage of the baltards are suddenly sextant experts all of a sudden. I mean, I didn't hear about the sextant for 5.5 years. But now all of a sudden, all the baltards are experts. Well, we're going to see how much of an expert they are. Huh? How about that? What do you think about that out there in YouTube land?
Well, I've been sort of in one of the comments back in the day. They tried to get me on that sextant thing, and I looked into it then, and I thought, well, if the Earth is flat, because we don't presuppose a globe, right? So I automatically knew that there had to be a reason why that worked on a flat Earth, and I never ever thought otherwise. So back in the day, I looked into this, and I thought, okay, it is what it is, right? And you're going to explain, you go over it, I think, today. And it is triangulation, right? To see where your position is and where you want to go.
Well, it's triangulation today. Last Saturday on BALLBUSTERS, Bob, the pseudoscience Herman Munster flathead fallacy conundrum guy, said, what triangulation? But I don't think you know this, Betty. Bob, the pseudoscience fallacy Herman Munster flathead conundrum guy, showed up on Nathan's show this morning.
I listened in a little bit, and I heard Nathan go off on this guy.
So I guess this morning that it was triangulation. I missed that part because I got in there late. I slept in again. Sorry about that.
Well, I was on the after show thing.
Right.
So I think it still needs to be premiered. So
right.
People have to see if they can catch that on Nathan Oakley 1980, right?
Yeah, he's going to get about 25 shows out of that one.
Well, it was kind of a lot of repetition with Bob not answering questions.
Yeah, we're going to go into some about that, but I don't know. Let's get 10's take on this. All of a sudden, we've got sextant experts.
Yeah, it's interesting. You have to go to the books I've read and the videos I've watched from their own side. There's no flat Earth sextant books out there, so all we have is the paradox of the globe view. So within the reading and research, I found that they have to describe the tool for what it does, but then when they put their Muppet Vision two-dimensional circle with all the multiple horizons, it doesn't match because all it is an angle measuring device.
Yeah, that's what it does. It measures angles. For what purpose, may I ask?
To have determination where you are in relationship to the GP of the star you're shooting. So to triangulate where you are in relationship to either the air almanac or the nautical almanac, precisely where the GP of that star or sun that you are shooting in the sky.
Amazing triangulation then, huh? That's the purpose. Well, all of a sudden, Bob's caught on to this idea, and he said triangulation this morning. Of course, he was all screwed up in everything else he did, but we're going to get to that.
With one circle of equal altitude, you know you're somewhere on the circle, and you have the zenith distance, and that's a right angle. That's why they have the 90-degree box. Now, when you do your second sighting of a second star, or you can do the same one if you wait a few hours, then you have two crossings when you do the math to get it back to the same time, if it's the same star. Normally, they shoot 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 stars within minutes of each other, and hopefully 3 of them line up in the event of clouds and so forth, because you're at the sea. You're not sure which one's going to work for you. And then they're able to triangulate because they get a fix. And that's how they triangulate, is with 2 or more. One is just putting you on the circle, but you don't know where on the circle, because everywhere from that circle is the same distance to the GP.
Right. I wanted to ask you specifically about that because I'm not a squid, but I've listened to, I haven't done heavily, like really deep research into the sextant. I haven't done it, but I did come across the fix term, and and we're going to hear it with the expert too. And I don't understand why they call a fix with 2 points with a triangulation, because it's not a fix. Do you have any opinion on that?
Well, when you have 2 circles, as you'll see in the imagery, from 2 stars, and the GP, of course, is in the middle of each of those circles, and you, the observer, triangulating from those 2 stars, when those 2 circles cross, you're either at one of those crossings.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, because there's 2 crossings, not just one.
Correct. But because you've been keeping a logbook and dead reckoning, and you know where you are, sometimes these GPs, the radius of that GP to you is 3,000 or 5,000 miles. So obviously, if part of the crossing is over land and the other crossing is on the ocean, and you know you're on the ocean, and you know where you are.
Wait a second, you threw in a couple curveballs there. Wait, the one is the land. That's pretty funny. Yeah, duh. I'm saying, well, you're just over ocean. And you threw in, well, you're keeping a log book and you're keeping the time and everything. That's extra stuff. I was just looking at just the 2 circles. But we'll get into that. Don't worry. I'm going to stop the video at that point, because he does point out a fix. And he's like the 3rd or 4th person that I've seen. When I think fix, not as a squid, I think it's fixed. I mean, that's where you're at. So maybe it's just with the verbiage.
Yeah, I think that's all it is. It's your location based on you triangulating with 2 or more. That's
right.
Basically it.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, and I've seen that definition with 2 or more, so yeah. All right, listen, are you in to see these photos? Because I'm not going to share. I'm getting a little warm in here.
I've got YouTube on my phone.
Outstanding. That's what I was waiting for. So, should we embark on our journey?
We can howl, you can bark.
Let's see what we got here. There's a lot of ins and outs and what have yous here, so I got to do some stepping and fetching, but let's try this one. We're going to start off here. So the Ball-Tard experts, this is the first expert, Larry Scott, the fantasy geodesist. I ran across this. I can't remember where I ran across it. It was just a diagram. No discussion beneath it. Just a diagram, and this was it right here. got some big problems with this. First problem. Let's check this out. I'm going to get high speed on you now. I'm going to start to draw. Look out. Now, I want everyone to notice that this is where he's at, right? This is his little boat. Little piss pan boat. My question is, what is this for? This thing right here, this vertical right here. What's that for? You're going to see here in a few minutes that is non sequitur to the discussion. There is no meaning to the vertical above your head. None. Zero. The next problem is this little fiasco right here. Horizontal. Really? Horizontal. Is there some type of embedded reticle overlay in the sextant that shoots out off into nowhere space land out here? But we're going to take a look at what you see inside the sextant. Where do you get this from? Is this just from your imagination? And what's this line? If this is horizontal, so this is the horizon down here? Really? I thought the horizon was horizontal. So I don't know what the heck you're doing here with this 90. Did he put a 90 over? Oh, I get a right angle. So basically he's saying there's a 90 right here. That's what he's saying, right? And he's shooting to the angle to the star. Yeah. I don't know where he's getting this from. They're just making this stuff up. But we're going to check and see if we got that horizontal in the viewfinder here in a couple minutes. All right. So that's with Larry Scott. Oops. Hey, why'd you do that? See, I told you we're going to have some ins and outs and what have yous. Just
Are we covering that vertical then?
I was just covering that vertical. Do you want to go back to the vertical?
No, as long as it's going to be covered.
It's going to be covered. We're going to look at another vertical here right now. How about that vertical? Of course, there's a lag, so. Yep, you got it. It's our favorite guy. Okay. So, as per our discussion this morning, somebody put up a diagram and asked Bob, why is there a line right here coming from the center of the earth, going up through Stick Bob's ass up into Neverland? What's up with this? But you're going to need R for that, number one. And why are you taking a line up through Stick Bob's ass? What's this for? We still don't know, because you're doing the same thing Larry Scott just did, right? I don't know why, but I'm searching for a reason why. Let's talk about this one. Get a closer look on this. So here we go again. We have the radius. You're going to need R for this, by the way, because you're taking it from the fairy tale center of the earth up through Stick Bob's ass, and there's the 90. He gives you the 90 right there, right? What is this for, Bob? What is this for? Because I've never seen that before in my life when doing sextant navigation. Never. So I don't know why you got this going up here. We're going to check this out here in a sec. We're going to look at the subject matter expert. Take a look at the subject matter expert and see what's going on here. Because I think you're off the reservation. You see what I mean? So let's go back. We got the 90 coming up through Stick Bob's ass, right? From you. Here we go with another 90 again. Then we're going to go back. Here's Larry Scott. Remember the vertical? This is basically Stick Bob's ass, right? But we have the subject matter expert here, former naval officer that did this for a living. Here's where he's taking the measurement from. Where is the line, the vertical line going up through Stick Bob's ass? Huh. Doesn't seem to be here. Where's the vertical at? And the 90 degrees? It's over here, beneath the vertex of the star you're shooting. It's the GP. You see the corner pocket? That's the corner pocket of the ball-tarred coffin. That's the corner pocket right there. See, and you guys got the 90 over Stick Bob's head. Or right over here. Why is that?
All those guys, John, on that circle are taking measurements. And none of them, while they're taking the measurements, have put a stick up their ass. So, genuinely, that's why I come to that vertical. Why is Bob doing that? Why is Stickman Bob doing that? I don't understand the purpose. Because look, there's how the sextant works in the sun picture. Yet Bob's drawing a completely irrelevant line through, like as you eloquently put, straight up through his ass, and it starts at the center of a presupposed ball. It's got nothing to do with the use of a sextant. That
exactly. And I took this screenshot from our expert. We're gonna listen to him go over this. He's gonna show you how to do it. So I don't know where you guys are getting this from. Are you making shit up again? And see if it'll fly.
They always do this. I mean, they presuppose the Earth is round, and then they have to do something with it.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what they do, Betty. They just make shit up.
Yeah, and he heard 90 degrees, so he had to sort of incorporate that somewhere in his theory, and that's why he placed himself at that 90 position angle thing.
Yeah.
If you know that already, you're already underneath a star or something, right? That it's right on top of you.
Well,
I suppose.
Well, let's say we
pointing at the star, right?
Well, let's say
that line.
Let's say we do that. Let's say we draw a line up through Stick Bob's ass to 90, get another 90. So we got two 90s. What are we drawing here? Rectangle? Square?
Squid.
Oh, we're drawing a squid. I got it now. That's what it is. Yikes. Yikes. Get back here, girl.
Sorry. Sextant.
Not you. Yeah. Eddie's. Carry on. So, this is where we're back. Oh, goodness. Remember this, folks? Because that's where this came from. See, connection. Let me circle it for you just in case you missed it. So draw. Let's make it a little thinner too. Hey. So what is this? See, this is Bob's wHORizon. I guess he didn't want to write it out because it was too long of a word or something. But I'm pretty confused. So number one, the first confusion lies there isn't a line going up through Stick Bob here. Why is that? Maybe it happened later. It could have. So you got Stick Bob on a building. What is he trying to triangulate his position on top of a building that he knows the address of? That would make a lot of sense. But I digress. Okay, so you got...
basically lost where they were at, right?
Oh, they're lost in place?
They're already, even though they know where they are, they're still lost.
Yep, lost in place. But what I want to point out here, because we already pointed, and we'll get back to the horizontal up Stick Bob's ass here in a few minutes. But I wanted to know what the wHOR is. Because you got him looking through a sextant out into infinity out here, right? He's looking out here to what? What, just the empty space? And like I said, is there a reticle embed inside the sextant that shows the wHOR? This one?
And what is that other line that is pointing down to that curve?
Yeah, I was going to get to that one because we talked about that last week. So Bob, according to Bob, for us to look at, see, this is the actual horizon where the sky or sea or the ground or sea meets the sky. See, who in the world looks down towards their feet to look at a horizon right here? Who does that? Anyone?
Even more below my feet, right? If I'm seeing this correctly.
Yeah.
I'm looking in an abyss, basically.
Bob, what's this? Where's your whore? Is it here?
No.
Right there? Because we want to know where that one is. I don't know where that one is.
The question for a baller is, how do you get a whore at sea? I know that's why a lot of seamen have to wait till they dock, but
Did you really say that, Adam?
well, in a baller's world, to get a whore at sea, you're going to be looking out to the point where the land meets the sky.
You got to settle for a mermaid.
Let's
Which on a flat plane, you can take your horizon and know that it's going to give you a level, which will enable you to then form your 90 with the GP of the star taking an angle to. But if you live in a ball world, and if you're going to use the horizon to get your whore, then in a ball world, it's not going to be straight. So the point of intersection with any GP won't be at the ground position. It'll be lower based on that ball, but it therefore won't have any inference because you're no longer able to generate the right angle on the correct side of the diagram of geometry that you place in. And it must be the right angle needs to be formed underneath the star, not underneath the observer with a stick up his ass.
10th, I'm going to get your take on this here in a second. I'd like to point something else out. You see this dip angle right here? How high is this? Is the whore? How high is the whore? You think this is 1.5 degrees? Are you high? Look at this.
The only way you can get whores to work.
Jeez, oh man, dude. Just making shit up.
Throwing the puns, and it's after 8, so I don't care.
Okay, let's get 10th. 10th. Where is this whole? Where is he getting this from? Do you know?
Well, the dip angle correction tables in the almanacs are in minutes, not degrees.
Good point. Thank you very much. I know I want to ask you this, and just I know it might be a bad word, but where does he get his whore from?
Well, I think he had a problem because he didn't know how to spell artificial.
Ah, nice. Yeah. This is preposterous, folks. This is nonsensical, batshit, insane buffoonery. Dunning-Kruger is blushing.
You can't leave that. That's unpunnable. What? So we've admitted Bob uses whores, but actually he's come on today and said he doesn't. The whores he uses are artificial. Blow up whores.
But wait a minute. I thought that we had many horizons. So how if we in the ball-tied world, if we have many horizons, I remember with Black Swan, right? How can that happen then?
Well, the sextant manual says to aim it at one horizon.
That one what? Which is the one real one then?
The one where the sky seems to meet the sea or land. So it's pretty obvious that if you're 16 feet above the sea and the dip correction is your eye height has to be adjusted to sea level, then the adjustment is only 16 feet. You go into the tables, it tells you, you put exactly if you're 20 feet, 15 feet, 10 to 15 feet. I think it's a gauge. And then they give you the minutes that you use for, how to fix that calculation. But it's obvious that the sextant has a mirror on it that's stationary to the tools called a horizon mirror. And you bring the sun or luminary to the horizon and you toggle it back and forth so you can find where the most vertical position of it is as it's barely touching a point on the horizon so that you have a correct reading at that time.
Yeah, but according to him,
the sextant.
Go ahead, 10th, finish up. Good.
Yeah, so this is the key. When I started researching it, I just want to know what the sextant does and what it can't do. And what it can't do is get a reading off a curved surface. It cannot work on a curved surface. It needs a flat surface. In fact, you have to make sure that the index arm is at 0 before you even use it. Then you got to make sure that your mirrors are adjusted properly, perpendicular to one another, and you turn the sextant sideways. There's videos on this.
Yep.
Then you have to do dip correction, which is your eye height to the sea height. So if you're 16 feet above the ocean, you got to make that correction. So all of these corrections, plus in minutes, because it isn't much, real refraction, and there is no refraction at the zenith position of the GP of the star. Okay.
Exactly.
And that's why they say don't take sextant readings 15 and some even people 20 degrees above the horizon. Take it higher from that. Don't go any lower because you can have more homework to do. So it's pretty obvious that this tool has to work on a level surface because of all the corrections and adjustments you have to do to it.
Yep, we're going to get to that. I do want to bring up, because you brought up a good point that happened this morning. He brought up terrestrial refraction. Terrestrial refraction. You're not going to find terrestrial refraction in HO 229, the Naval Almanac. They don't deal with that. They deal with celestial, astronomical refraction, you numpty dipshits. So that was a good one. Bob, well, I'm sure Nathan's going to cover that in many shows with you from here for the next month. I wanted to touch on that because it's frigging hilarious. So back to the whore. This has to be a reticle embed or an overlay because he's looking through the sextant and he's looking out at the whore, right? So my question to you is, that's the actual view through one of the sextants. Where's the whore reticle?
No, this is Muppet vision at its worst. When you sight the sextant, you're not sighting it the way that what your cursor is showing there. You're sighting it where the sky meets the sea.
Right.
And that curve is not there. That curve in that picture is not there when you're doing it.
Yeah, I understand it. I brought this down. See, this was a still. He was bringing the sun down to the horizon. Now he's looking through the sextant. I want to know where the reticle embed for the whore is. Here's another one.
This is the practical navigator. He's got a good series of videos on this. I recognize the emblem on the sextant there, that red thing.
Yep. Here's another one. Where's the whore reticle? Funny, we don't see it in here. All I see is a horizon, and this gentleman, the split level mirror, bringing the sun down to the horizon. No whore here in the reticle. So where'd you get your whore, Bob? This one. This is preposterous, ludicrous absurdity, folks. They're just making shit up.
Can I shout out to Superchat in the meantime?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. It's from Unitox Sasha, and he says in the first couple of minutes that we talked about this, he said, when I grow up, I want to be Bob, with capital letters. And then he says in the next one, people choose going fishing with Bob or 10th man.
Oh, I'm not done. Listen, like Jaron said, you see, Bob, you run. And you run fast the other direction. He knows it. All right. So, having said all that, is that all, Betty?
Yep, that's it.
Having said all that, this is going to be very enlightening coming up here. How are we going to do this? I know what happened. I got you. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to now listen to John Zimmerman, a former naval officer, give a block of instruction on celestial navigation. So he did this for a living with a $1 billion warship. Now, there's a caveat at the end, and we'll wait till the end for that. That'll just between me and Mr. John Zimmerman, just between officers. But I digress. So let's establish who this gentleman is. Everyone go on mute, please. Thank you very much, and let's embark on our journey.
When I was in the Navy, and I don't know if you know this or not, but in a former life, I was a U.S. Navy officer. I was a surface warfare officer, and on one of my tours, I used to navigate a billion-dollar warship. That was my responsibility. So I had a bunch of people, a bunch of equipment, and I took this stuff, very seriously because I had to.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. We're going to have problems with the name John here later, but like I said, I digress. So we already established the credibility of John Zimmerman. I mean, he used the sextant and navigation skills, actual in real life in the United States Navy. So I don't know how much more credible you can get. Now, he's going to give a block of instruction on this. Let's take a listen. Like I said, going to arbitrarily step in a few times here because I just get the feeling I'm going to get struck. So be patient. We'll see how it goes.
Here I am. I'm out in the middle of the ocean. I see star A. Okay, I know it's star A, and it's 6 p.m. Now, from my location, okay, I see star A, let's say, at 50 degrees above the horizon. Now, how would I get that measurement?
Well, John, you'd probably get it from a sextant. This is one of those arbitrary step-ins. He's going to tell you about that he gets it from the sextant, but I had to step in. You know the reason why. All right. So let's let John continue.
Okay. So the way I would get that measurement is using a nautical instrument. You've probably seen it. I'm going to try to sketch it real quick. It's called a sextant. Okay. It looks like this. You've probably seen mariners using it. And what they do, they pick this thing up, they look through it, and then they kind of swing something back and forth, and it's able to tell them the angle of an object above the horizon. And really do have to be very specific with these measurements. Okay. So anyways, I take my sextant out. I know it's 6 p.m. and I look at star A, and I'm seeing it 50 degrees above the horizon at 6 p.m.
So 50 degrees above the horizon, not the whore, the horizon, which is out here. Remember when he said in the beginning of this video, oh, and by the way, I have this video, the link to the entire video in the description box below with his name and title. Okay. Let's continue.
On this particular day. All right. So what does this mean? Okay, if I have those two pieces of information, I'm on my way to finding my position at sea. Well, there is a book that navigators use. Okay, and oh boy, if I'm not mistaken, I think the book is called like HO 229. It's kind of a weird name for a book.
So HO 229, don't let it confuse you. It is a naval almanac. All right. So HO 229, it's a reference book. It's a naval almanac.
It's been a long time, but anyways, it's essentially a reference of all these stars that we look at, these primary stars that we use for navigation. And I go to this book and I'm saying, okay, it's 6 p.m. and I'm looking at star A. And the book will tell me, well, star A should be located at this position, okay, at 6 p.m. Okay, at 6 p.m., you should be seeing star A.
Uh-oh, we're getting a line dropping straight down from the star. Look, this looks like 90 degrees. It's straight down from the star, isn't it? Why isn't it over here? Why isn't that vertical over here? The only vertical I see is coming down to the GP. So what he's trying to say is, if this star would fall straight down from the sky or release streamers, then this star's geographic position, that if somebody was standing right here, it would be 90 degrees above their head if somebody was standing right here. But of course, no one's standing there. They're back here. Everyone following me up to this point.
Directly over your head, 90 degrees, right? So if I'm standing out here in the middle of the ocean.
What's that? Somebody's got a hot mic. Is that you, Neil? Go on, move.
I said I follow.
All right, you follow. That's good. I'm glad. Is everyone following? Thanks. So, we got a 90-degree here. Why is that here? According to the ball-tard bozos over here, it should be over here, right? Why is he putting 90 degrees over here? Must be out of his mind, right? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just a naval officer in charge of a billion-dollar warship.
This position, okay, not where I'm at. Okay, at this particular position, I would see star A directly above my head at 90 degrees. Okay, so if let's suppose a star A just fell straight down onto the Earth, it would be at this position at 6 p.m. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you, right? So if I'm right here and I'm looking at star A, I would be looking straight up, right above my head, up in the sky. But obviously, at 6 p.m., I'm looking at star A and I see it at 50 degrees in the sky, not 90 degrees, not above my head. So with those two pieces of information, okay, I can use some trigonometry. Okay, this is going to be a right angle.
Uh-oh. Turn out the lights. Party's over. You're finished, ball-tards. This is the corner pocket of the ball-tard coffin. Why is he putting this 90 degrees over here? Where are these 90s and these right angles over here? Shouldn't they be over here? Going up through Stick Bob's ass? Why is he over here? Could it be that Stick Bob is full of shit? And the rest of the ball-tards are full of shit? Could it be? I wonder.
I have a degree here. I have a location here. And I'm not going to get into the math because that's not the purpose of this video. But essentially, what you're able to do, what the book is able to do, is to say, listen, if you're seeing star A at 50 degrees, okay, and not at 90 degrees, well, the only way you can do that is that you have to be a certain distance away from its location at 6 p.m., okay? And it's basically going to build us a little circle here. So let's just make a number up. Let's say in order to see star A at 50 degrees, okay, at 6 p.m. at night, you have to be 900 miles away to be able to see that observation, okay?
What, really? Why would you have to make a number up? That's my question. So some comments, just brief comments. Does he have to make a number up here, or can you get a distance here with just the information you have? Anyone?
Yeah, he can get a distance. If it's 50 degrees and you take it from 90, it's 40. So 40 times 60 nautical miles would be 2,400 miles.
I must have did it. Yeah, I got 2760. I could have did. I just jotted it. Go ahead.
That I'm doing nautical miles, not.
Oh yeah. See, that's the damn yeah. Ugh. Yeah, forgot to convert them over. But yeah, you could do that. I just wanted to stop right here. It's arbitrary, I know. Don't worry. He said, let's just put 900 miles here. You get the concept in what he's trying to tell you.
Well, you bring up a good point. Because he just was trying to hurry up the video. So he just said, let's just make a number. But all he had to do was minus 50 from 90. That's 40. 40 times 60 is 2,400 miles.
Yeah, I went 69 miles. You used nautical miles. You friggin' squid.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's the key. The ancients derived their units, their miles, nautically with the stars.
Right.
Minutes and seconds and arc seconds all match up. It's another part of the hiding of the beauty of the reality and the clock above us and how it's there for science and seasons to convert the land mile to 1.115 nautical miles. That perverts things and makes them less obvious.
So here is, if this single slide right here, and I know Tent will agree with me, it is over for the ball-tard spinning space monkey religion. It's dead. Because you know what all I need to do now? All I need is a map. right? And I come up here with my triangle, right? And what I do is I start to spin it on the base of the vertex. I spin, so this spins around, and I get a 900-mile circle. That's all I need to do. And then guess what I'm going to do next? I'm going to shoot another star. And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the same thing I did here, and I'm going to take that vertex, and I'm going to spin that thing around according to the distance. And then I'm going to take a third star, and I'm going to do the same damn thing from this right angle triangle. A right triangle. I'm going to spin this thing like a top for a third time. And guess what happens where 3 lines intersect? Guess what that is? The end of the Baltard spinning space monkey religion. That's what it is.
A lot of flat area.
Yep. We'll get into that. I'll let him go. But this right here, I feel, is the most important part of this. He's going to get into something else here, and that's fine. But if you get this, you got the concept. Any other comments before I move on?
Yeah, just one, because of the lag in the stream. That was the bit I cut back in when you were asking. But
okay,
this is the with the diagram on screen where the 90 degrees is. As I said earlier, the 90 degrees is formed by the GP of the star, okay, and the flat plane. That's what forms the 90 degrees, not hitting a curved surface. And what the ballers are trying to flim-flam and confuse you with, because use of a sextant requires the formation of a 90 degree, they're trying to confuse you that the 90 degrees is formed by a tangent on the Earth's surface and a stick up your arse. Where in that diagram, as explained by a proper navigator, is a stick up your arse relevant? And even if you had a stick up your arse, the 90 degrees needs to be at the other end of that line, not where your backside is.
Precisely, Adam.
Trigonometry.
That's why I stressed that point in the beginning. Yes.
It's what the ballers are doing now. What they're bringing to us is that confusion, and they flower it with calculation and diagrams on the board. But that's the premise of what they're trying to get you to accept and move forwards, which the mathematics will then confirm. I've got no problem with that, but it's the premise that you're matching that 90, as stated, and it's not the same 90 that they're drawing on the board that the navigators in real life form. The wrong end.
Yep. Okay, let's continue. Not too much longer.
Okay. Well, I could be 900 miles here, or I could be 900 miles anywhere along a big circle, right? I could see that same observation over here. Okay, I could be over here at 6 p.m. and still see that at 50 degrees. So that's not really helping me either, because I could be here, I could be here, I could be here, I could be here. All these positions are 900 miles away from star A's location. And I can see the star at 50 degrees at all these various positions.
That's funny. This drawing right here, this looks a lot like what 10th has been teaching for the past couple months. Shockingly. I don't know what to say. It's almost a direct mirror. Ballers. What's going on here? I don't know. Let's continue.
So how could I help myself out here? I mean, it's better than nothing. I mean, at least I know generally that I'm along this circle, if you will, at 6 p.m. And by the way, the technical word for this is what they call an LOP, line of position.
That technical name, line of position, is referred to as the circle of equal altitude or the circle of position. By the way, John.
So, well, you're looking at it as a circle, but technically we call it LOP, a line of position.
Now, technically, it's that you're looking at a circle because it's a circle of position or the circle of equal altitude. That's why it is. John.
So I'm along this, somewhere along this circle, okay? And of course the circle just continues out. So it's a start. So how can I help, really get an accurate idea of where I'm at? Well, I look in the sky and I look for something else. Okay, I come over here and I see, lo and behold, I see star B twinkling over here. And I'm like, oh, star B. Let me go ahead and take a look at you at the same time. Well, actually, let's say it's 6:01 or 6:02 p.m. And I do the same thing with star B. And I go through the whole rigmarole, just as I did here. I measure its angle, I look in the book and everything else, and the book tells me, hey, the only way you could be seeing star B at this particular angle is you would have to be along, let's say, this line.
All right, this is an arbitrary stop because it was getting a little too much long in the tooth there, so I had to stop it. But you see what he's doing? He's going to do the same thing he did with star A. He's going to do it with star B, and then he's going to do it with star C. Let's continue.
Okay, this line of position. So now I have two lines of position. All right, I can be seeing star B, say somewhere along this circle at 6:02. So you can see where the two lines or the two circles are crossing seems to be the obvious place where I'm going to be at, right? And that is called a fix in navigation terms, F-I-X, a fix.
So I wanted to stop right there because Tenth and I had talked about this previously. I think this is just a Navy, Squid thing, because when I hear the term fix colloquially, I think that it's fixed. That's where you're at, period, end of story. But obviously, if he would have chose a better picture here, this circle, side of the circle is going around this way, right? This circle is going to meet that circle again. Now, not like 10th said on land and stuff. If you're out in the middle of the ocean, you got two intersections where these two lines will be. To me, that's not a fix, but I'm just thinking it colloquially. Technically, it is a fix. It should be the other way around, in my humble opinion.
I get 10th when he says that the other point could be on land, right? If you're...
it could be.
Yeah, because if you have land on that side of the of your boat or whatever,
yeah,
then it's obvious that that's not the place where you're at.
Well, yeah, no kidding. Okay, well, let's just go with the scenario that there is no land.
Sure.
No. You, 10th, do you want this, or I can address it with maths?
You go first. I'll follow up.
Okay.
So, if you look at those two, we've got a 900-mile radius of the first circle, and say on the other one, it's a bit further away. So that's going to be, let's call it 1,500 miles, the radius of circle B. Now, he's going to plot that onto a map, and where the points he's going to plot it at, the 2 points of intersection of those two circles. Now, as 10th said, there's the reality that in a lot of cases, the other point of intersection, not on the water where you are close to where you were last time you took your reading, yeah, the other point of intersection is going to be on land. And if it's not on land, then it's going to be 2 radiuses away, okay, from even the shortest circle. It's going to be roughly on the opposite side, yeah. So unless you've been blown off by 1,500 to 2,000 miles of cover, you don't need to consider the other point of intersection.
I got you. Listen. I'm just saying, with everything even, that you're a numpty dipshit. You don't have a logbook. You're just out at sea, right? Everything else, there's no land. There's just sea. For crying out loud.
Yeah. So this, yeah. So no land. So then the other point of consideration when you've got the 2 points is, since my last reading, is there any possibility I could have been blown off course by 1,500 miles?
Okay,
and
I got you.
If you don't, then you can take that from a logical inference,
sure,
as a fix.
Sure, got it. Yep. 10th,
yes.
Anything? 10th more or less said the same thing earlier, but go ahead, 10th.
Yeah, I'm sending you some slides to your Skype.
Nah, don't do that. I'm not pulling Skype up.
All right, anyway, I just sent some, but basically, when you are shooting a star, you're getting the GP of that star, and you can see the right angle.
Right.
And then the degrees is what's telling you what the distance is because of the nautical mile to 1 degree. So the charts are you can't draw a big enough circle on the charts. The ship. So what they do is they take an azimuth reading of the bearing to that GP.
Right.
And they bring it down to a smaller scale so that circular portion looks like a straight line.
Gotcha.
Not a straight line.
Yeah.
It's a circle of position. Line of position is where you draw your tangent, and that's perpendicular to the GP.
Right.
That's your right angle. I posted a slide today on Nathan's channel of a chart plotter, and it says the same thing.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, you know what? I saved that, by the way.
You can show that.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull. Well, hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can pull it up.
If we've got out with that straight line on, John, just to refer it back again to the Baller subterfuge. I think this was one of the things that was brought 10th in the debates. One of the guys started to try and equivalate you see the circle of equal altitude. When you actually put that onto a map, okay, even on a flat map, that's a big circle, isn't it? Generated by the star you're measuring the angle to, and the GP defines its radius. But you said there, look, the radius on that last one was 900 miles. Now, if you plot that on a local map, then in reality, it's going to be virtually straight. What you're not going to waste your time at sea navigating to do is to try and approximate the rate of curve based on your distance of that circle. So for all practical purposes, you'll draw a straight line at the point where you think you're intersecting and draw it there based on the circle of equal altitude and the GP. Yeah? But reality is, yeah, it is a little bit bent in reality to the map. Nothing to do with the curvature of the Earth, but to do with the circle of equal altitude as designated by the star's altitude. Make sense?
Yep. Hey, 10th, I do have Mark's plotting chart on here right now if you want to speak. Did you want to speak to this?
Okay, I was trying to send you something and it had me locked on mute. Yeah, just read the bottom part because I don't see it, but just read the very bottom part.
Yeah, oh, the note?
Yes.
Yeah, the note said lines of position. I'm reading right down here, folks. It's probably hard for you guys to see, but take my word for it. Note, lines of position or the Sumner lines are always at right angles to the bearing or azimuth of the celestial body. Say goodnight. It's over.
It is good night.
Yep. It's over. It's all over. So let's get back to the video. Yeah, thanks for that. As soon as I seen that this morning, 10th, I saved it. So I realized the importance of it.
Can I shout out some super chat before you do?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yep.
Okay. We got one from James Mays, and he says, "Great thumbs up show." John, cheers. Hello to Betty and the panel.
Hey, good to see you out there again, James. Welcome back to the party, man. Thanks, man. Go ahead.
We got another James Richard, and he says, "Bob and Globies are confused and willingly dumped down. No confusion here, though. Earth is flat and motionless."
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me make I got to make a little adjustment. Sorry about that. Is that it, Betty? That it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and finish this up. Hopefully I won't get copyright strike. And remember, I got a sweet caveat for you at the end here with the lecturer here, former naval officer John Zimmerman.
And that's your position based upon your navigation efforts. So that's the basics of celestial navigation. And let me just actually throw something else in. If I wanted to make my fixed location more accurate, what could I do? Well, if here I use two stars, maybe I want to look at another star C.
Hey.
The lecture here.
Hey.
Former Naval Officer
Hey.
John Zimmer.
Hey, who's talking? Who was talking in there?
I think it was me having my watch page up.
Oh, okay. Okay, we good?
Yep.
All right, let's continue.
And I would continue to get more and more lines of position, more circles. So you could see it gets pretty involved. And actually, when I was in the Navy, and I don't know if you know this or not, but in a former life, I was a U.S. Navy officer. I was a surface warfare officer, and on one of my tours, I used to navigate a billion-dollar warship.
That's lovely, John. That's the end of his little presentation here. Does anyone have any comments before I get to the caveat? No? No comments? Waiting for the caveat?
Well, I would say that this former Navy officer doesn't have a problem with 90.
I would say that too. I thought he did an excellent job. It was right on point, very concise. I said, now that's a damn officer's presentation, right? I can relate to that. I had to do many myself. But there's a caveat coming. You guys get ready. Are we ready for the caveat?
Yay. Give us the caveat.
Wait a second. Let me see if I can get this in some semblance a little bit better. Hold on. Yeah, I guess that'll do it. Hopefully everyone will see it. So, underneath John Zimmerman's video in his description box, he has something to say. So, tabletclass.com math. This video explains the basics of how math is used in celestial navigation. When people first started to navigate by stars, a massive explosion in trade and culture developed. Celestial navigation requires the use of a sextant, clock, and nautical table. But most importantly, it requires mathematics. Outstanding. Love it. Uh-oh, we have a special note that was probably added after people started calling him onto the carpet. Special note. The Earth is round/oval. Really, John? The Earth is oval. You're about maybe 5 or 6 or 26 fathoms underneath just your regular skanking foul balltard with your oval, John. So, I digress because I'm going to start smoking here in a second. Special note, the Earth is round or oval. So my use of right triangles is a simple math model to explain the basic concepts of navigating by the stars. However, the actual math needed to perform celestial navigation involves trigonometry on a sphere. Really? John? So you just torpedoed your entire presentation there, John? Which is very advanced math, yeah, imaginary math. As such, you should watch the video knowing that right-angled trigonometry, what he just showed us for the past 10 minutes, is not actually used in navigation because the Earth is a sphere. Let me tell you something. Let me just say this. John, officer to officer, all right? This is just me and you. No one else. They don't know what the deal is here. You friggin' scumbag, you. Right? You're a disgrace. From me to you. Right? You're superimposing your fairy tale oval religion on the block of instruction you just gave to everyone and said, basically, the block of instruction I just gave is null and void. That's what you just did. Right? Because of your fairy tale religion. Oh, me and you, we got issues there, brother. I'm going to tell you that right friggin' now. You compromised yourself. You have no honor. You have no code, right? I predict some issues between me and you. I can feel it. I'm gonna stop.
So he outright lied?
I'm gonna stop right here with it, because if I go on any further, I think they might take me off YouTube. Right? But me and you, we got issues.
Hold on. So he outright lied?
You
No,
there.
no, he didn't lie. He gave a proper rendering as to how it works. I watched this video early on, and I went through the comment section back then. A lot of flat earthers jumped on and thanked them. I think he just succumbed to the pressure.
Yep. That's when he added his special note.
Exactly.
I think, John, from what I can see, your beef appears to lie in the very detailed and correct explanation of how to use a sextant and how and why it works, and then to put in a disclaimer which says, yeah, but none of that's true because it's on a ball. It doesn't have the same explanation and mathematical backing as you described it to be working on a flat plane. That gets... Well, how does Peter Griffin decide? That grinds my gears as well. Yeah.
I'm gonna stop. I don't think I should go on any further with me and him.
No, you made your point. The point is he came undone because of the pressure of the comment section. I read those comments under there. He was under fire because he proved flat Earth, and then he was forced to put that in. It's obvious.
Yeah. And that's the beef. It's a point of integrity.
Yep.
And crumble under their pressure, man.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the end of the presentation. I'm going to take a couple more to the woodshed. We have Professor Phil. These are comments that were written a few days ago. I caught it in one of the Skype chats. And, of course, Bob, the pseudoscience fallacy, flathead Herman Munster conundrum guy from last Saturday. After BALLBUSTERS, he came in with his pompous retard attitude. And once I asked him what the purpose of the sextant was, he didn't know. He said it was to measure angles. Well, yeah, that's the means to get at the purpose. The purpose is triangulation for a sextant. But we'll get to that. He changed his story this morning, though. He finally figured it out. You're busted, though. You're recorded, you numpty dipshit. Let's go to Professor Phil. He said, you look straight ahead at the... Go ahead. Somebody wanted to say something?
I'm just grinding my gears still. I want to just say to them. Yeah. It's a bit like, you know, in the debate, the gas pressure without a containment thing, I have professional qualifications that sit with it. And that's kind of like what this guy's just done. And if I'd just spent ages talking about gas pressure, how it works, containment, PV equals NRT, and gave him a fully correct description, and at the end of it, that video out, and then a bit later, had a bit of critiquing and bothered to say, yeah, I appreciate that this is how it all works, except on a ball, and we're on a ball, so ignore everything I say. I get your point, John. I think if this is an ex-military guy, like you say, you stand by what you've said. You don't then, well, anybody, doesn't matter, military. The point is in relation to me. You can't make statements of fact that are true and fully explain how something works and then just put a disclaimer in. It's a bit woke. Use ways we've been
dishonest.
Yeah, dishonest, wholly dishonest. Or certainly your disclaimer doesn't have the level of support and information that your previous explanation that made sense did. And like I said, that would be the point. You use your qualifications and knowledge of practical life. This guy in navigation, me, gas pressure, yeah. And then you go and contradict it all and say, yeah, but that's not how it works on a ball. And that's the same premise of what's going off in the same place.
If I would do something like this,
I deserve a kick in.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I would want a kick in.
Yeah,
because that isn't. There's no integrity there.
If I would do this, if I would give a class as an NCO or an officer on a hasty ambush, Let's say I had everyone over for a class. We took, we're gonna do the discussion, explanation, then we're gonna do a walkthrough, then we're gonna practice it, right? If I would give a 10-minute class on a hasty ambush and then say at the end that no, that's not really what we do. Let's go do a hasty ambush, but don't pay any attention to what I said. I don't know. I would be laughed at first, right? And then my superior, if he wasn't there, because if he was there, he'd be kicking my ass all up down the wood line. If he wasn't there, when he heard about it later, I'd be on the freaking floor in front of him at attention. Folks, let me tell you that shit right now. We don't play any games. This is not game time, right? And if you use your credentials, which he did in this case, to absolutely nullify his presentation, he did the exact same thing. I'm calling you on the carpet. Your ass is on the carpet, right? At attention for the next 3 hours before I get back and sit down. And you better not move. See, you're getting me fired up again, Adam. Now let me get back to the other thing.
You fired me up. It was your fault. I mused on it for just a moment, and it's the lack of any professionalism. And if you're going to use your credentials and be a professional, then the professionalism, the information you provide as a professional is without bias. Yeah, and it's like if I'm going to describe a medicine to a patient. Yeah, I describe it. Yeah, that's it. I don't say how it's going to change your life. I need to, in this case, I need to change your life viewpoint to oppose how I've just described something. It's professionally dishonest, is the point I'm making. That's why I had to put in, just as you'd put up, what you put back up.
Yeah, you don't give the description of the medication, its side effects, and all that sort of stuff. And then at the end of your little block of instruction to the patient, say, don't pay any attention to that. That's not actually true. That's what he just did.
It's a bit like real life, isn't it? Take this thing to stop you spreading and transmitting things. We have to admit that taking this thing doesn't stop spreading and transmitting things. It's these contradictions that we're all seeing in all walks of life, and it's not. Yeah, it's funny, the overlap and the purpose of it all. Well, whichever sphere you're looking at it in, the purpose of it all is to perpetrate a lie. Yeah. Now that lie can be subterfuge with lots of detail, which describe how the lie is a lie. But if you don't actually listen properly and you just nod along, you can listen to the lie. Have the lie proven to your ears, as we're hearing here, yeah, and in other walks of life, that it's a complete and utter lie, factually demonstrated. But because you've listened to the facts, you have to accept that the lie is true, and that's kind of what's going off there. It's I think hence the frustration. I've made my grievance.
Yep. Betty, any thoughts on this? I'd like to get your take on this.
Yeah. Well, I think that Adam already spoke to that. I mean, how can you just build up a whole presentation and then sort of, build in a disclaimer, right? Basically, just to be on the woke side of of the world, right? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get why he needed to sort of add that to his presentation. It was very clear, right?
Well, 10 told you why.
Yeah, it is basically to mask off the whole mask, the mask of the information.
Sure. Yeah. They put him under pressure. So, all right. Can we move off of that subject and move towards the end of the presentation? This is going to be pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Let's rock on. This is going to be short. It's not going to be that long. I'll wait till you guys catch up to my former screen. The one that Adam interrupted. Just messing with you, Adam. All right, like I said, we have Professor Phil and Bob, the pseudoscience fallacy flathead Herman Munster quantum guy. He all of a sudden changed his tune this morning that it is used for triangulation. So you did learn something last week, clown. So we have Professor Phil, which is, this is so unimaginably doofus. It's difficult to put into words. He said, you look straight ahead at the horizon. Yeah. Oh, is that the whore? Clown. The almanac gives you correction for atmospheric refraction. No, it doesn't. It most certainly does not. This is terrestrial refraction. What the almanac will give you correction for is astronomical refraction. Two different animals, by the way. There is no triangulation. What he's saying here is there is no triangulation with the sextant. Just like Bob did last week. And a number of numpties I heard. Well, let's take a look at this. Sextant. From NOAA.gov. For centuries, mariners have also used a form of the transit called a sextant and a triangulation method. Using the stars, sun, and moon as benchmarks of a sort, even though these celestial bodies move across the sky. You see, triangulation sextant. From Science J-Rank, the optical instruments called sextants have been used as navigation aids for centuries, especially by seafarers. In its simplest form, a sextant consists of an eyepiece and an angular scale called the arc, fitted with an arm to mark degrees. By manipulating the parts, a user can measure the angular distance between two celestial bodies, usually the Earth and either the Sun or Moon. The observer can thereby, you see that? Thereby calculate his or her position of latitude by using a trigonometric operation known as what? Triangulation. Clowns. You don't even know what the purpose of this thing is. You don't even know the fundamentals of the purpose, what it's used for. Are you kidding me? And you expect us to take you seriously? You want me to talk polite to you? I'm going to hand you over to my wolf pups, along with John Zipperhead. From Hampton Nautical, based on mathematics and what? Triangulation. The sextant was a tool of unique power, allowing sailors to navigate with unprecedented accuracy in the early age of sail. Huh. Unbelievable. From the U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey, Kenneth T. Adams. In executing the sextant triangulation, unbelievable. All triangles should be closed by the observation of all three angles and adjusted for closure. No, the sextant's not used for triangulation at all. From the U.S. Navy Museum, with advances in technology, it has become easier for a submarine to know its current location with high precision. Often, only putting up the periscope a few feet above the waterline is enough to get a location fix in today's world. Ironically, while the math is automated and the data transfer lightning fast, the concept of today's state-of-the-art GPS tracking is still based on the same triangulation principles used with what? The sextant. You gotta be kidding me, Professor Phil. I thought you said the sextant's not used for triangulation. You unimaginable Dunning-Kruger numpty dipshit. And shits. Well, what's triangulation? Let's drop anchor right here. Triangulation Trigonometry from Britannica.com. Triangulation in navigation, surveying, and civil engineering, a technique for precise determination of a ship's or aircraft's position and the direction of roads, tunnels, or other structures under construction. It is based on the laws of what? Plane trigonometry. Do you get it? Plane trigonometry. I'm going to sit right here and have this burn into your retinas, Baltards. It ain't going to make any difference because the cognitive dissonance mud is covering your eyes, but I'm going to sit here anyway. You see that plane trigonometry? Wonder what that is. Which state that, if one side and two angles of a triangle are known, the other two sides and angle can be readily calculated. Bye-bye, Baltards. You're toast. Questions, comments?
Was it quiet? I think I raised a little bit back last week in terms of triangulation. It's used for everything, map and all of its geometry that it works, uses the premise to work upon, is a flat base, a flat plane. That flat plane that allows the 90 degrees we've heard talked about to be created. So none of this works. None of this works without there being a flat plane.
Correct.
This little summary I'd want to give. I mentioned about Cassini and mapping, and I think I've mentioned it. If you take Genesis, the stars are there for certain purposes. I think in the 1700s, a competition was announced to figure out a way of accurately calculating in the year 1700, after years, thousands of years of navigation, how to accurately calculate longitude. As part of the things that the Jesuits covered up was the behavior of Jupiter and its moons, which are all visible. The eye, and certainly very visible with a telescope. There are ways in this that have already been given to us to translate local time, which is the point of a chronometer to define these things. And part of the game we play with maps and all this triangulation, we're dealing with, as 10th highlights, when you hear the description of how a sextant works, and how John has highlighted with professional people describing how a sextant works and how that's at odds when they then try and put it on a ball. All of this stuff works on a flat plane. It has done for just hundreds of years, but for thousands of years. It's how people got around the globe. Whatever the timelines past thousands of years you believe, it's kind of irrelevant. All our ancestors used this. A lot of it has been, this knowledge has been taken away from us. And in all of that, this is part of the chicane I alluded to, 60 seconds and 8 minutes. All of that alludes to what's been given to us, the information that's there to map this flat plane we're on. It's all there in the stars and the heavens, and part of the illusion is to pretend you can't figure out where you are without a clock. They did it for thousands of years, and I'll leave it there.
Go ahead, Betty. You could go up, unless, hey, 10. Do you want to, before final thoughts and everything, do you want to add anything here?
Sure. They need a vertex. They need a corner, and the point of that corner is called a vertex. Sextant is an angle measuring device, as we all agree in the description of it. Even the ballers agree. It just depends where that vertex is formed. Angles require it. If it's achieved from the surface of the Earth, then we live on a plane. So earlier, you want to know what that stick was going up Bob's, should I say, arse? Be English?
Like it. Arse.
Arse. The reason that stick and the imagery always shows that is because they got it at the center of a circle, a two-dimensional circle, and that's a radius, which he wasn't willing to admit today on Nathan's show, that he drew two radius lines. That stick is the vertex going through the arse of every baller, because they stuck in the middle of a circle where the sextant never is used. It's used on the surface of the Earth, which means the Earth is a plane. This is so obvious. You need to wake up.
Well said, 10th. Yep, it's as simple as that. This is simple stuff, folks. Oh, got a message. Paying attention. Oh, yeah, I seen that one, Betty. That was pretty funny. FED. Yep. All right, Betty, let's go. Let's go ahead. Somebody wanted to add something?
I was just going to add, John summed up there, and the last slide I saw on screen was 2021 year of the sextant, and we've all jumped on this, and probably a year ago, 10th, chatting with me and other people, embarked on this mission. This is not something that is just thrown together. This is, and I want to give you kudos, Buff. Yeah, this has been researched way beyond the levels that I knew, pointed you in directions of, gave you sites to people who knew detail. Tem's gone off and absolutely smashed this for the community, and
yep,
to the point that, you know, in August, September, we're naming it the year of the sextant, because he brought it to the table, and it's just continued to chew up the ballers. And if you look at where they are now, at the state of them, we thought the Black Swan was chewing up these things together. They're absolutely, they've got them, as we demonstrated, even professionals. Yeah, we're pointing out the contradictions, and respect them. We're in a short journey. It's a lot of work, mate, and I appreciate the work you put in, Prof. It's yielding its fruits.
Thank you. You were there when I needed a sounding board. So you're part of it.
All right, Betty, let's go with any questions and comments, and we'll add final thoughts with it. If you're still there, Betty, you still there?
Yeah. I mean, all right. I'll start with FED. Will unmute you.
Keep it concise.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, good day, guys. How you doing, man? Good show, QE. Yeah, it was funny. I was going through that the almanac there, for navigation. I was noticing that every position of the star taken from a 90-degree zenith, and I was like, well, wait a second. If you're navigating to you're finding a fixed position and then trying to find your location, these particular two stars at this particular time will be at the 90-degree zenith to the Earth, and you're using your azimuth as a horizontal path, like a horizontal angle, right? I was like, wait a second, this is how plain it is. But then again, they're I guess they're just trying to do the best they can to say, well, no, it isn't flat. It's curved, and you can use the same coordinates. But it's like, no, it's flat, and you can't use the same coordinates if it's a ball. So it's like, I don't know. It's interesting to see that when you look at actually the calculation, the trigonometry, and the 90-degree zenith and all the almanacs. It's quite fascinating.
You used the word trigonometry there, and you described the hypotenuse, the angle we're measuring. Is there a triangle that's got a straight hypotenuse, but a bendy adjacent?
I think perhaps maybe without that horizontal azimuth and your 90-degree star position, the trigonometry would be useless, right? Yeah. But being that is not the case, you have that 90-degree, that horizontal angle, and get those calculations. Oh,
Exactly. It's the denial of as the words you use, which is what they all accept. They're using trigonometry to calculate this. Yeah, it's the denial that if your baseline's curved, you can use trigonometry. That's the basic. And now you have to swallow to go along with their triangles. Don't have straight lines, 3 straight lines.
And they would then have more than 180 degrees, wouldn't they?
They're not triangles. They're 3 points on a ball.
I can't remember how many times I heard that. How many? What did the angles add up in a triangle? Right, from 3rd grade. Right? What were we all told? Yeah. This we're under a carnival tent.
Can I comment on the last caller?
Yes.
That was a good point he brought up, because the nautical almanac is an address book of all the stars when they're 90 degrees. There's 64 main navigational stars in the air almanac. There's over 180 in the nautical almanac. Everyone likes the air almanac because it's short, to the point, as the best stars to use, and it's the ones that airplane navigators use because they don't have to carry so many books. So since the almanac is an address book of all the stars, and the only way you can find out where that 90 is, you might want to use a sextant.
Yes, you might. Oh, it's so over. It's so over for you, baltards. It's laughable now. I'm going to drive this stake in. You ain't going to believe it. All right. Is that it, FED?
I think it is.
All right. Next.
Oh, he's on mute again. I think.
How'd he go on mute again?
Maybe he went in and out. I don't know.
Oh, go ahead. FED, go ahead. Was that your last statement? Or were you finished?
You did drop in and out, Betty, as I was talking. That's why I paused in the middle.
Well, I muted him, but he's still not there.
Yeah, he must have some technical issues. Okay, he did get his thought out, though. Yeah, you can go down, and maybe I'll circle back.
Bring back the Fed.
Bring back the Fed.
Okay. Yeah, he's dropping.
He dropped out again. He must be having technical difficulties. Okay, you can go ahead, Betty.
Yeah, next is Flyric. And I will unmute you now. Have any questions, comments? Silence is also good. Okay, I go on to the next. Neil, comments, questions?
Yes, hi, how are you?
Good. You?
Very good. I remember when 10th first started breaking it down, and he said the year of the sextant, and he was right. And he said it's going to tie back into the Black Swan, and it all worked out just the way he said it would. So great job. And I really don't get why they're saying that it works on a globe, but they're not realizing it's working on a globe because the Earth is flat.
Yep. All right. Was that it, Neil?
Over.
Okay. We got Private Orange here, and I think he's a glober. You have any questions, comments, remarks?
No questions, mostly listening, but if there are any questions for me, let me know.
Again? You have no questions at all?
I'm trying to. I'm searching for why I would ask you any questions after we just gave a presentation that destroys the spinning ball space monkey religion 10 times over. Yeah, I got a question. I got a question. Why are you still a baller?
I think at this point, mostly the people that I trust believe it's a ball, so I kind of trust them.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Well,
welcome to the Catholic Church.
That's fine. At least he answered. I'm not going to dog you out for that. You told us why. You believe what other people told you. That's fine. You answered it. Good on you. All right. Thanks. Anything else?
Nope. Okay. Well, we go to Sasha. Thanks for the super chats.
All right. I have two words only. Plain trigonometry.
You caught that, didn't you? Sasha likes to concentrate on the really emphasis points. It's a good way to go, Sasha.
Well, that's all night. I wanted to understand this sextant. Even I was asking that 5 years ago. Why I didn't know anything about that. But now it's clear.
Thanks, Sasha. Appreciate it. Is that it?
Well,
Go ahead, Adam.
the word trigonometry, Sasha. Explain why it's important. If you're going to use trigonometry, by its implications, why is it important, and why does it destroy a ball model if you use the word trigonometry in the way you're going to calculate something?
We need straight lines everywhere.
Ah.
And listen, this yesterday, 3 days ago, that wHORizon, that stupid guy on Nature Show, he was laughing on my sentence when I said, Akum, listen, this triangle, and he was laughing. You are telling me triangle, and I said yes, because triangle, the word, it's made because has 3 angles. You know, I needed to tell him this, and I asked him, can we have triangle with a curved line? And he said yes, and I said, okay, this is the end, because who has the triangle with the curved line in any?
In a triangle, each 3 points shares 2 of the 3 straight lines. Lines.
Yeah, you cannot get angle from the curved line. I think that child 10 years old know that. When you learn first things in mathematics, you learn this. I don't know. You need straight lines for angles.
Thanks, Sasha. Yes, you are correct. Is that it?
Yep.
I'd also like to point out that on a globe, the angles between each point of a square aren't 90 degrees in their world. It's not just triangles that the geometry is messed up with when you try and apply it to a ball. Every shape. That's why some ballers stick cigarettes in their ears when they're trying to light a fag.
Thanks, Adam. Go on, Betty. Thanks, Sasha.
Yeah, we got Scratch, it's flat.
Hey, what's up, Scrat? Haven't seen you in a while, man. You always have good questions. Go on, man.
Oh, well, yeah, it's been a while since I've been on here. I know you need straight lines, but you guys seem to forget that straight is curved.
That we forgot about that, right? Yeah. Uh-huh.
I actually missed most of the presentation. I was busy, and I didn't get on until basically the beginning of your rant of the guy who I don't even know what he did, but I guess he gave a presentation and then at the end debunked it.
Yes.
Where is that? Can I watch that?
Yeah, you can. If you go onto the video, my YouTube live stream, it is in the description box. It's top line.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
So since I missed most of it, I really don't have any comment other than the sextant is the death of the ball.
Well, if you do think of any questions, like I said, you always got great questions. If you think of any, just write them down, and maybe we'll hit them up on the next show. Okay?
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Thank you. You want to go, Betty? You want to go to Crosso?
The what?
It's Crosso, Cracko, Crosso down at the bottom down there.
Okay, well, he's unmuted, so he can talk. I think he's asleep.
Wake up, crack.
Wake up, crack.
I know that's what rock stars have, but
Come on, crack, take a hit.
Get cracking.
Get cracking, crack. Show your work. That's an inside joke.
No, it's not happening today, I think.
All right. Well, we got 8 minutes.
Since his name is Crack, it can't be his fault.
He fell through the crack.
Still punning.
Yeah, that's good one, then.
He was speaking like for 5 hours, past 5 hours in 24/7.
Oh, really? He's probably worn out.
He must be hoarse.
Horse. Listen, you see what you got these people on these puns, 10th. It's like addicting.
Well, if Betty's got a tale to tell, I want to hear it.
Yeah, here we go. We'll be here all day.
Unbelievable.
don't start getting 10th pun in, otherwise you won't get your wingies.
There is no wingies today.
Oh, it's on
what we got?
Saturday, right?
Betty's had a good kick to it.
I've got pulled pork, barbecued pulled pork, and fresh macaroni salad for today.
Oh.
That sounded so nice.
I only had a prawn cocktail for tea. I'm hungry again now. Oh.
Yeah.
You got a Buffalo Wild Wings by you, Kiwi?
Say again?
You got a Buffalo Wild Wings by you?
No, I don't play that.
I don't need, but they got a really good brisket burger. It's unbelievable.
We were eating squid. Well, I'm eating. Let me just say that I'm eating pulled pork with macaroni, fresh macaroni salad. My wolf pups are eating fried squid.
Yikes. Navy squid.
Isn't that calamari?
He's not getting it, Betty.
No, it's the Navy squid they are eating.
I'm getting it.
I don't know why Adam's even talking. He's got 10-course meal coming.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow. I've got to live
That's
through
tomorrow.
today yet.
Well, it's normal for me. I'm the 10th man. I always have 10-course meal.
We have one more person that just jumped in. Get ready for this. I must have told him like 25 times and showed him 25 or 30 times that the sextant's purpose was triangulation. Everyone just watched the presentation. He's going to tell you it's not. So go ahead and unmute Nasavi up there and listen to this nonsensical horse pucky.
Okay, Nasavi. Yeah, I want to add something on the sextant.
That's a wise damn move. I'll tell you that.
I do like the name though, Nasavi. Sounds like Indian, almost.
All right, so you're not coming off mute, and you're not going to come off mute while we're in the middle of taking this down towards the end. I'm going to go, we'll go to 10th, and then Adam Meakin and Betty, you'll take us on home. So 10th, final thought, sir. Welcome back, by the way.
I think your citations of what the tool is for triangulation, and anyone could do the research I did. All you got to do is watch the videos, read the studies that are out there, the PDFs. It's a well-researched tool, the sextant. It's made to measure angles. Now, either you're measuring that angle from the surface of the Earth, which is where everyone does it from, and that right angle triangle works, and that's why it has worked for hundreds of years. Or you're going to be a baller and say, yeah, it works on the surface of a plane Earth, but we need this to work on the ball, so how are we going to illustrate this? Oh, we'll draw it coming from the center of the Earth. So all our angles are coming from the center of the Earth. Well, you got a big problem there because no one's at the center of the Earth with a sextant. That's number one. And number two, sunlight doesn't come in parallel, so you can't have a transversal. So guess what? Divergent sunlight kills the globe model instantly. And the sextant is never used from the center of anything. It's used from the surface of the Earth.
Outstanding. Outstanding performance. If you were here, I'd decorate you. Concise, to the point. You need to take lessons from that. When I said you need, that's the royal you. Adam, sir. Final thoughts.
Yeah. I'll take that lesson. I'll go and add in any way. I'll just reiterate the point I made earlier, and that's just a shout out to Tenth. You know, respect to the effort he's put in to bring it to this point today. Thanks, bruv. It's given us another another arrow to fire from our bow at these guys. And I think if we look at the responses we're getting, it's highlighted by John, and even from the professional world, yeah, it's a very, very good and powerful arrow we can fire when we sight the sextant. Good, guys.
I'd have to admit to you, it's going to be the only arrow I fire. It really is, because I like to be concise, to the point, and they're through. So I'm all about that. That's me. Concise, quick death, cut them off at the knees, get rid of the eviscerate them, because my wolf pups need to eat. Okay? So they're hungry, they're impatient, so I get them quick. Betty, take us home.
Alrighty. Yeah, has Adam had his turn yet? By the way?
Do you need me to fill? I have, but do you need me to fill in, Betty?
Okay, didn't you have to shout out your channel? Are you going up with something new soon?
Not at the moment. I've got a few bits and bats in the pipeline, but no, nothing new at the moment, other than just to give What is the World channel a shout out, which is just kind of where I'm trying to stick down some of the knowledge I've accrued over these few years with current topics. I think we've got 2 episodes so far. There is the Adam Meakin channel, but you'll just see things like the BALLBUSTERS intro or whatever that I have to change. I'm aware of that, John. Or other channel intros. So that's where I'm helping other flat earthers. But no, that's at the moment.
Did you get the ruse? Yeah. Did you call it a ruse? How'd you state that?
Muse.
Muse.
I'll shout it out again tonight, John, if that's all right. So, yeah, everyone in chat, I will keep an eye on it after this point. We did the old BALLBUSTERS intro based on however you want to describe it, like that. We're looking for a new way of.
Adam, sorry, is Dr. Bob? Is Dr. Bob real Bob, or Bob has another name?
We don't.
I'm not sure the relevance of that, Sasha, but
because some Dr. Bob is in chat.
Oh, we don't really care. But just let him go. Yeah, he's finished.
Bob.
It's like this is tantamount to the chairman of PETA showing up for work the next day after he was videotaped live clubbing baby seals with a nail spike 44-inch Louisville Slugger. So don't care about him. Go ahead, finish up, Adam.
Yeah, so any ideas for what the new intro to BALLBUSTERS should have a theme about? I'd appreciate it. Just to send me off, or even a theme tune. Who knows? Be copyright sensitive. Right? I'll get a shout at that. But yeah, so we're looking at that, and if anyone who's interested wants us to make suggestions, send them to QE.
Send it to Q. I like that. That was really good, man. I like that. Send it to QE. yeah. That the priceless, Adam. That made my day, man. Appreciate that. Betty, you want to take us home?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I had an idea to end this, but I don't know. I forgot a lot of it.
How about any super chats? Is there any super chats left over?
No, there was not. No, there's no super chats, and I don't see Nathan's channel and trying to get his show shout out.
You got a super chat here from Vlad on Flat Earth.
Didn't I shout it out?
No.
Oh my goodness, I forgot all
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah.
Okay, he said this show was epic. Thanks, QE. Oh, that's a good thing that he did that, because that's a nice ending, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, I just want to sort of say that we have these proofs, flat Earth proofs on the website. I think that we should add this one, Sextant, also. So we need to get into contact with Davey so that he can put this on the website.
Yeah, Davey was supposed to show up today. So yeah, Davey, if you're listening, we're gonna need to add the sextant. So
yeah, because
I agree.
this is a really good thing to add. I mean, if this is the year of the sextant.
It is.
Then let's, by all means, we need to get this onto the website so that people get to know this. Yes.
Yes.
And for Nathan, because it wasn't immediately put out.
Adam, go on mute.
I hope that he will do that, because there was a lot of things, Dr. Bob, that he was getting into. It was such a thing. Oh my goodness. So hereby shout out Nathan's channel, Nady. Go and check it out and follow his shows as well.
I got a question for Betty.
Okay.
You alluded there, you mentioned earlier you were just listening in on this afternoon. First of all, how frustrating was it not just to burst in, but if you just listened to it and was trying to be neutral and evaluate, what did you hear this afternoon is probably fundamental.
Well, a whole lot of diversion. I mean, he drew a line to the middle, to the center of a circle that he drew on the whiteboard, and he didn't want to name it the radius of the Earth. He just called it a line. He was just obfuscating what things mean, and the whole drawing that I saw didn't add up, because next to that whole curved circle, there was another sort of drawing that he made that was just squared, and it didn't add up with the whole wall circle that he made. So he was totally obfuscating and stating that he was winning the argument. I mean, like we always do, right?
Oh my! It was pathetic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's finished.
That was the same slaphead baller that we dealt with after BALLBUSTERS last week, isn't it?
Yes.
With his whiteboard.
Yes.
Yeah. The funny admission I got out of him, Betty, is, and I still like it because it just demonstrates the flim-flam, the snake oil salesman that he is. His diagram that we've all seen now with his relative positions on a ball and his star, his whiteboard wouldn't be 3 foot by 3 foot or 4 foot, whatever. Yeah, it would be 8,000 by 8,000 miles square for his diagram to be able to be represented on his whiteboard. Yeah, bigger than the Earth, the ball Earth. Yeah, that's how big his diagram would have to be for his maths to make any real sense. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it why they want to defend things that they clearly don't understand and obfuscate everything that it's being asked and then ask questions back. They answer a question with a question, and it was amazing to listen to, and also frustrating because of the You couldn't hear Nathan. You couldn't hear anybody else talking, and it was just such a clusterfuck of the
You
conversation.
you hear it, and John describes it as his wolf pack. Yeah, and
Mhm.
I do my best to bite my tongue because halfway through every second sentence is a point of objection that you have to have with what they're saying, because they have to double speak at such a level, yeah, now that's why people keep butting in on the debates, isn't it? Because you'd have heard it. You know what I mean? There's a point that whilst ever they're speaking, Alwyn does it brilliantly. He just drops the things in, the points of admission that they want you to accept, which mean you're on a ball. In the way they're describing everything, they don't validate anything via science or even logic now. Yeah, they've even lost logic in this argument, and that's kind of what I'm hearing now, Betty.
Yeah.
They lost
Well,
science a while back, but
to be honest, I hear this all over the world. I mean, things that you wouldn't have thought that people would come up with, they come up with now. I mean, they hold two thoughts in their minds, and they can defend both of them. I don't know. It's strange. It's a strange time, and definitions aren't important anymore. You have your own truth, they say. That's postmodernism, right? And they can't.
If I may.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Ted. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the guy who just came on late, when you asked him, does he have anything to say? He said no, because he trusts people. So he doesn't want to exercise critical thinking of his own. He just wants to trust the powers to be. Well, that says a lot, because since the mass media and universities and everything in between is pushing the globe model and phony outer space and vacuum next to gas pressure, it's anyone who stands up against it is ridiculed. So really, they're afraid to be ridiculed. But if they ever take the time to study it, like we all have, we find out, wait a minute, this is a mass deception. This is a big lie. It doesn't stand the test of real science. It's pseudoscience. So then here comes the show today, FED, and Bob comes on, and he says, we know, he doesn't put one citation up, doesn't show anybody else agreeing with him, even though he's got everyone in the world he can cite, which we can tear apart the minute he does. But he doesn't. He says we, and it's just his, it all rests with him. All right, well, we just destroyed it today on your show. We just destroyed it on FED. And I think they're afraid, because you're asking, Betty, why? Afraid of the outcome.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Afraid of the outcome.
They can't accept it because it sort of takes away their whole foundation and security in the world. People want security, and they can't have a government lying or a people group lying. They can't have that, because their whole world will fall apart. And who will they be?
It already
Because
did.
they will be nothing.
It already did. They're just whistling past the graveyard. So
Yeah, well, they hold on to the pieces that they got. Right?
well,
It's
they
still on sand, not on rock, right? Deep rock.
They can keep holding on to it. I'm gonna stop by with the nail spike 44-inch Louisville Slugger. So keep holding on, okay? I'm coming.
Are you
Hey, I mean, I don't want to have a go at any one individual, Betty, but there was somebody joined tonight. I think he's still here. Private Orange, and given the opportunity to address any of the salient points that were, demonstrated this evening, he didn't have anything of a rebuttal, nothing to address, nothing to defend ball position. All he had was a distraction technique, which everybody recognised and duly ignored, which was to go, does anybody want to ask me a question? As if he's Neil deGrasse Tyson or somebody, as if you'd like to attack him. That's all they have now, yeah? Somebody, a baller, after an hour or more's presentation, with all the things meritable in that presentation to address, nothing. no, I've got nothing to say. Now that silence, certainly in naval law, the law of the sea, silence is tacit admittance that what's been presented is correct. So I'd just like to give Private Orange the chance to address that. Was there nothing in the presentation that you have rebuttal towards, or do you actually admit it as you currently do tacitly?
I've unmuted him, so maybe he wants to respond.
Yeah, I came in very late. I only got really the tail end of the presentation.
Perfect legal rebuttal, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's wrap it up, Eddie.
Yeah, well, you have to give it form, and he's still in this chat. I mean, many others that might have something in other chats to say won't come here, right? So, yeah, I got another super chat. Last one from Kids. Listen, new Einstein. His name is Bob.
No, sorry, that's Boob.
Boob? I thought that he said like an outspoken Bob, but
let's call him Boob from now. I like it.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, so what's going to be going on next on Ballbusters next week?
Yes, yep. I was gonna talk to that. It's obviously we got a numpty clip tomorrow. It is PhD Tony Driftwood Purcell. Don't miss that one. And next week is the last week for the regular numpty clips. I would like to christen the next month of October signature numpty clip finale. They're all going to be signature numpty clips, 8 of them. So get ready. And this Saturday on Ballbusters is going to be part C of natural science and the scientific method. So thanks for asking, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, and the numpty clips are on Monday and Wednesday?
Monday and Wednesday at 2 p.m.
All right.
U.S. Central, 8 p.m. UK.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And weren't we going to do a presentation that I am going to make up for on the Bible?
Yeah, we didn't talk about that, the specific date, but if you have a specific date and you want to announce it, go right ahead.
It will be on a Thursday because that's a day that the numpty clips are not there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It will be for people that like to hear things about the Bible. It's not that I am teaching anything. It's just that I want to point out things that I have learned on the Bible and want to point out and see what people think about this. And I want to sort of convey what I've learned. And hopefully it will be something that people will enjoy too. If you're a Christian, I hope that you can then tune in.
Can I ask a question on
Sure.
that? Because you got my ears up.
Okay.
Twofold to it. The term Christian, some of us hold to that term by our meaning, and there are certain parts of the community that would not describe us as Christian. I don't take offence to that. That's not the point. I think the differentiating point whenever we look at Bible study is how we hold the document. Will the document be being reviewed as the written word of God, or historically as a historical document? I think it's very. It doesn't matter which way, but I think whoever approaches the seminar, should have that in mind. There's very little point somebody's presenting it from point A or point B to attack it from the opposing point. So with me in mind, my mindset, when I want to sit down and listen, I want to know what I'm getting. Am I getting theology or history? Is, I suppose, the question.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of prophecy in the Bible, and I want to take us through, for example, one of the be the blessing, right? Where's the blessing, and what does it mean? And there's a lot of other things, like a lot of types in the Bible, and these types come in different forms and things, and it's applicable to the situation where we're at now, right? And I want to point that out. So it's both historical and it's both prophecy in the Bible that I'm onto.
I love a bit of Bible study.
There's a lot of things that we sort of have forgotten, and that history is written by conquerors, right? Like, and that we should have go back to the roots a little bit and see what's already in the Bible and what God sort of already predicted for the future and where we're at now.
So prophecy. Where are we looking at? Daniel, Ezekiel, what we're looking at?
The whole, right? It's all it's like diagonally lined through all of it. That's the point. I'm not wanting to take it book by book, but I want to just go crisscross and follow a certain line that is being picked up by both Genesis through the prophets through to Revelation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I really enjoy doing. Right, I'm not someone that picks apart one book and doesn't see the relationship with other things. I mean, if you do a word study, for example, on the word harvest or barley harvest or wheat harvest, for example, that's very interesting. If you do a word study on the olive tree or the fig tree or whatever, it comes back in multiple books of the Bible, right? And we tend to not see these connections, and there's multiple connections to be made.
Oh, get me excited over it. You already had me here, Betty.
Okay.
If that's what we're looking at, that sounds really cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I need to build it up a little, right? So it will be a lot of scripture. I mean, I'm not going to have a lot of my own personal things. I do have some personal ideas about things, right? And I will convey those, but I won't claim them to be the truth. But I want people to have some inkling or some notions of what I'm thinking, and maybe it will add on to something that people already have. Or maybe it will bring something new to the table that they can incorporate into their own set of understanding of the Bible, right? And that's what I want to do. I don't want to impose my views or my thoughts on it. I just want to expand others and see if they can follow my line of thought.
You sound like you're describing similarities across multiple prophets, how these things work across thousands of years, in the case of the Bible. So, with regards to my first statement, I don't think the viewpoint would be relevant. We're talking about the synergy of meaning within the words used in the Bible. So, however you hold the document seems irrelevant with what you're discussing. So, yeah, even more interesting because it accelerates the debate or the progression. So, I really look forward to that, mate.
Yeah, I do too, and I hope, that people forgive my language because, of course, I'm not a native English speaker. I try to do my best with conveying things, and so there will be typos and stuff and things not the way things are being presented like Quantum Razor does with the meticulous English things and underlining and whatever. But I try to do my best with what I can try to convey, and if there's any questions, I would like to answer those. But just I don't want to be the teacher. Right?
I've never had a problem understanding you ever.
When that will be? Sorry.
We haven't decided on the date yet, but it will be on a Thursday.
Okay. Because I want to come, because I am really ignorant about everything.
Good.
I know stories, but like about Bible inside, almost nothing. Even if I'm Christian, but
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah.
because
It's such a good
yeah,
idea, though, to do that, to lay out the prophecy, especially in a chronological order, building up to where we are right now, right? You know, and obviously, again, like, I know why Meekin, obviously, straight away, the first thing he said was Daniel, because, you know, we could talk about, like, effectively, when we talk about this, we go all the way from Daniel and what Daniel's prophecies were, going all the way up to who would eventually be in rulership. So it even talks about, you know, the successive rule of one empire to the next, right? And then the splitting off into and a lot of people misinterpret the prophecy to do with the beast with the 10 horns on the head, right? And I try and get rid of the misnomer in that, which is this like literal beast with the little stout horn and what the little stout horn resembles. You know, we could argue about what the little stout horn is, but the 10 horns will be the, you know, and this goes forward to Revelation then, where Revelation talks about, you know, the kings and queens of the land of the West, effectively, you know, out at the back of the rule of the Roman Empire, the Romans sort of leading from behind the curtain, you know, the Wizard of Oz type effect. But yeah, it talks about the successive rule of, you know, the Babylonians, you know, the ancient Chaldeans, and then forth to the Greco-Macedonians. And he outlined it all perfectly, right? All the way through to, like I said, the splitting up of those empires into the 10 successive ruling kingdoms, and how those successive ruling kingdoms would be resemblant of those 10 horns on the head, as written in the prophecy. And then how the stout horn would, though more stout than its fellows, would be more in power, or should I say, would have more of a leeway. And that would be like the consigliaries of the Catholic Church, the bishops that would speak in the ears of the kings and queens of the bigger kingdoms. If you look at the Vatican as the small horn, or, you know, the secret societies as the small horn, and how they did rule over the 10 horns. And then you obviously have how those 10 horns effectively go in toward the prophecy of all the way up to, like, you know, the mark of the beast, and, you know, the idea of when we will be able to sell, and you know, effectively what we're going through right now, you know,
We're almost there. We're almost there. So I think it's time that we talk about this. And I'm not an expert on all the. I think that the Bible is so vast and so expansive that nobody will know everything of it, right? So I'll do my best to point out certain stuff, but other
I've
stuff.
added you as a friend. I've added you as a friend if you want any help of reference or anything like that. I'm not saying I'm an expert myself, but that was sort of more my area of expertise in terms of debate was theology and doxicology, doctrine, and then even etymologically speaking as well, going all the way back to Hebrew, you know, and even Paleo Hebrew. So I've added you as a friend. The offer's there. I'm pretty interested in that as a whole ideal. It's something that I've been interested in for a very long time, is writing a book called The Chronology of Prophecy of the Bible.
Okay.
So that would be really awesome as like a prerequisite to something that I'm eventually planning to do, which I probably will never do, because where's your work, as Conham says.
Okay. Well, first I have to see if I'm living up to that sort of expectation. I don't think so, but I'm just going to start off with a little bit of build up, and we'll see what kind of like little gems we will find together, right? And maybe we'll have someone else also present. Maybe people want to do that as well, and maybe John will be a platform for that as well if he wants to. I mean, yeah. But we have to still pick up a date, and it will soon be there. Okay.
H, mate, I want to quote QE. 4 more hours. Go, Bay. Start now.
So I don't think that. I think he wants to round out now. So John, over to you. End up.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot to 10th. Good to have you back, man. Outstanding work you've done with the Sextant. It's killer. It's a ball-tard killer, period. It's all over. Of course, it was over 5 years ago, but it's technically, officially, it's over. All right, you're finished. So, take no prisoners. No quarter will be asked. None shall be given. And remember, I'll be back.